Great Rising, y'all. Great Rising. Come on for the walk. I'm doing camera stuff, y'all. I'm sorry for YouTube. All this light and stuff is going on. And I'm trying to work it out. Y'all just go ahead and get ready. Get your chair, get your mats, get your weights. Line up if you're walking wall to wall. You know? Let me do this, y'all. Oh, start your bikes. Or jump on your bikes. Yeah, that works. Sound like a plan. Y'all planned that this morning? I know I did. Oh yeah. Look forward to it. Oh yeah. Yes. The great Ron Jackson. Signature. That's how I feel sometimes when I get off the treadmill. Yeah. Let's get ready, y'all. Great Risings. Great Risings. Yes. Yes. Okay. I called the serviceman. I just called Home Depot and I said, look, listen. I said treadmill and they said, we don't do that anymore. I was like, calm down, relax. We brought 2 treadmills from you and we need them maintenance. And I said, okay, that. Hold on. A little bit more camera adjustment on my side. I didn't hang from the door frame this morning, and we're gonna see how that's gonna work out for me. It ain't working out for me so far because I'm stiff as a board. Okay. Whew. Alright. Great Rising, y'all. Great Rising. Thanks for coming on the walk. Ooh, child. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend, subscribe. Yes. And you see how no noise this morning. Because I called the treadmill doctor. Now, what did I name my treadmill? Okay, the noise is back. Okay, alright, take it back. Calm down. The doctor will be in to see you. Oh, yes. I'm sweating already, y'all. So, whew, yesterday was something. Why did Jason? But I gotta tell you, I'm gonna slow this baby down some. Hold on, y'all. I had to do a lot of stuff before I got on the treadmill, and I'm sweating. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. That's what my daughter friend Cynthia used to say when she was younger. It would make me laugh. Give me a minute. Okay. Alright. Can you say in the land of way better? Can you say in the land of way better? Yes. So, we're going to talk about my hobosexual relationship. I done changed the title on YouTube quite a few times. My bad, homie. I forgot relationships. Hobo. We used to call them bums. They used to call the people that used to ride on the railway hobos. Or when I was a child, a picture of a hobo, it is like a man, white man in a tore-up suit, with a hat on, and the hat is all eaten out, the suit is all raggedy and stuff, and he got a suitcase and a sack that he tied to the stick over his shoulder. So that's what I knew hobo to be. But I didn't understand the term hobosexual relationship until I heard my daughter talking about it. And as I'm listening to her, I'm like, I was in a hobosexual relationship. Is that what it's called? Those are the signs? So let me bring it down. Let me bring it back to 19, and I like those, and 80s. I think 86 or 84 in there. Now, I just got out of another what I thought to be a lifelong relationship with someone who wasn't from this penal colony. Oh, hi, my name is Vicki. I'm coming to you live, loud from the penal colony, aka USA, aka America. So, I just got out of that relationship because I understand now how cults is. John was raised in the Catholic cult, and their vow of poverty for South Americans is unreal. I remember when I did an introduction to theater program at this community center, mostly Hispanic. I didn't get myself in there. That's another long story. I don't want to go off track too far. And we had to convince the kids to accept our introduction to theater program. If not, me and my partner would not be able to run the program and get paid $35 an hour. So, I remember we had to go in the gym, get their attentions, and I think I said something like, I can give you more than 15 minutes of fame or 5 minutes of fame, whatever the saying is. And they was like, okay, we'll go, and you don't have to do jail time or nothing like that. I think it was just very plain and simple. You think you're a star, we'll put you on the stage. And you ain't got to do no time. So, when we went in there, it was a community center on a Catholic cult compound. The priesthood, the everything, the thing, the gym. I mean, land, and more land, honey. And they were sitting there kissing. The kids was kissing. They was feeling. And the nuns is all around. And they ain't stopping nothing. Not a thing. Nothing. And then this is before I met John though. Every Sunday or Saturday, whatever, they would come lined up, very grateful, to get all their food, and sometimes they had furniture and stuff for them, and all the little kids would come. Basically, a lot of them only single mothers, all the kids, and they just so happy. Cristo. I was like, whoa. So, I didn't choose that life for John. I didn't know later on, when I did the play, I had a closer look, introduction to theater. I had a closer look at it. But back there with John, I was like, I ain't taking no vow of poverty. My mother ain't leave Virginia for me to take no vow of damn poverty. If that's the case, she'd have stayed there. In that penal state. Poor thing, my mother. She didn't know she was just running from one penal state to another. Her disappointment, she died with her disappointment. And then it wasn't until she was like, oh, this is what it's all about. Like, yeah, mommy. Because I know if she had known, like I'm telling Day, get off this rock. We never committed no crimes. And we're treated like criminals, could be shot down like a dog in the street, and we committed no crime. Because 600 some odd years ago, our African ancestors was over there fucking around in Europe. Yeah, it's easy. I know the geography that they teach us here in the United States. That's why they don't want, white people don't want their kids going to school with color kids, because it's a lie. We taught it so far away. Europe and Africa so far away. No, it ain't. I was told by a friend of mine, she can look out her window in Spain and see Africa. Stop playing the continent. Stop playing. But of course, in our history on this penal colony, miles and miles away from each other. So, see, I done got off the whole track. In my head, I think if I had a grandchild, they'd be saying, Grandma, get back to... So it was after that, I couldn't take my vow of poverty with John Camacho. I couldn't. I could keep the name, I just wasn't going to keep him because I couldn't take a vow of poverty. He presented himself to want more out of life. He was in college. He was doing engineering course. I'm like, yeah, let's grow. I tapped into a good job. You go to school, we're going to make it to the top. No. I found this out now, I'm talking from hindsight, that basically his cult teaches him once you get a wife, your focus is to dominate her. Not success, not looking for nothing. Controlling her. Because if not, she'll let some God come in her bed and screw you while you sleeping right next to her. So you have to put your foot down. So when we was dating and stuff, oh, we could plan for the future. Yeah, you get a job. Oh, and this will be great. Yeah, and once you get your engineering degree, we'll be able to... Same thing I did with that Ghanaian. And how did I know it was lies, lies, and bumblebee pies? So, it was maybe a year after John and I had separated. And my DNAers of the female persuasion, sisters are something different to me. Sisters hit me here in the heart. DNAers of the female persuasion is just what they are. You share DNA. And they started saying, something is wrong with me. Oh, it's our break time. Oh, not bad, right? Not bad. I said, come walk with me. Save your feet and toes. Yeah, Ron is out on the road doing his still standing tour. Still standing tour. Come on with me and save. Yeah. You know, a little guitar in the morning. I said, come on with me. Save. A little guitar in the morning. Cause when you walk with me, yeah. You can eat. Oh yeah. Hey, when you listen to it. Yep, me too. Oh, that's me singing. Y'all know y'all get the song. and iTunes and stuff. I know I'm an old lady. I walk slow on the treadmill. I walk slow on the treadmill. I know this penal colony. I'm unfuckable, honey. And when you unfuckable on this penal colony, you have no worth. Well, back in enslavement time, I would be over the children that they took from the descendants, because they was working on the roads, out in the field, building houses, cleaning stuff like that. So I would be the old lady, the neutral one that nobody knows, little babies coming, crying for their mothers that they'll never see again. And I would be the one there to receive them. I would be in that place. See, because just like today, inmates can't keep the kids with them. So it was in enslavement days. So it was from the original prisoners of war who was enslaved on this penal colony by the Europeans. When they had their kids, they were shipped out to other penal states. Just look at your brick and mortar prison system. Same thing. But y'all in the matrix. Anyway, so, you know what I'm just noticing? Y'all can tell it's hard for me to get through this story, right? They always say, if you're gonna do a show, you have to be real. You have to put yourself raw. You have to lay it out for your audience. Well, honey. Yes, and that don't mean it's easy. Yep, Don't mean it's easy. Okay. So I also call that during my telephone company days. It's a 411 operator. Again, my DNAs of the female persuasion were referred me to that job because I had crappy jobs, and this job paid good, but let's put it like this. Even at my young age, I called it the plantation. It was so hard for me. I didn't want to work for the telephone company. I knew it was a plantation. I knew they treated us like crap, but you can get good credit. I know they treated us like crap, but they were signed to help you get a house loan. I know they treated us like doo-doo, but the telephone company would co-sign on your car loan. You see? When that person called and said, oh, did they work there? Oh, yeah, they would. Next thing you know, you got your car. You got your house. You got your furniture. You got your loan. All your credit cards you can have. Remember I told y'all about the little Jewish lady who used to come through with the jewelry? They were draped in diamonds and everything. She would come walk there with a little Jewish lady with her basket with a little rag thrown over it. And she's covered up, looked like not even Hasidic women dressed like that. She looked like some kind of gypsy woman. And she would lay that stuff out, and she would have diamonds, y'all. Diamonds. Gold. Pearl. White gold. Okay. See, I'm getting off story. In my head, I hear my grandchild say, Grandma, get back to the story. So, my DNAers of the female persuasion, the oldest one, she got me a job at the telephone company. Very grateful. But now I can't complain about not having money to go to the bars and hang out with them and be with them because they know I'm working. But I wasn't working, y'all. The telephone company has something called AE. Don't ask me what the hell it means. When you got AE, that means if it was too many operators at a certain time, they say, uh, the uh, the manager service would say, hey, who wants our AE? And honey, my hand was always up. I don't even think I know what a full check from the telephone company looked like, and I think I worked there for 2 years. Worst thing ever. I couldn't even go to the telephone company shop to pay my phone bill. That's how traumatized I was. Oh, oh, especially the pill time, when everybody takes that break together to go out, and all you see is those pocketbooks opening and them pills being poured into the hand, and I'm like, I don't want this life. I don't want this life. And my sister, everybody's like, well, you have money. You get what you want. Okay. All right, I'm off track. Anyway, so I'm hanging out with them, my DNAs of the female persuasion. And I had hung out with them before, and I saw this guy called Ron. I don't know if y'all read, and it's probably banned, Zora Neale Hurston's book, Their Eyes Was Watching God. How she described Joe, yellow man, green eyes. Yes, that was Ron, child, as I remember him. And he was smooth, and of course we had a bar, so he buys me drinks, and we danced. And then, okay, next time I come back, guess who's there? Ron. So then we exchanged phone numbers. I think I see something on the screen. Okay, I know what that is now. We exchanged phone numbers. And of course, when we meet at the bar. We're going to talk. And I had given him, when I look back on it now, I had given him the I have a daughter speech, and I will kill you if you touch my daughter. Now, I had given him that, and he still came back. So far, I figured, all right. So, he didn't meet my daughter right away, but I did invite him over to the house. No problem. Then we went to my sister's house. Okay, sorry. DNA of the female persuasion. The folks I call sisters are real deep for me. So now back and forth, and I found out from him he's living with his grandmother. Red flag, red flag, red flag. And he has a sister that I spoke to that's like 6 years old, and he was 33. So he said it was a shock to finally have a... No. Yeah, 33 or 30ish. He said it was a shocker to finally get a sibling and him be a grown person. He just looked at his mother like, really? I think he said he was 21 or in his 20s. And his mom said, oh, I'm having a baby. And he's like, really? So, he was traumatized because I guess he was moved from everybody focused on him to now he has a sister. So he was living with his grandmother. I thought that was nice, helping the old lady. That's what I'm thinking in my head. And it was around the holidays, cold holidays. And you get so wrapped up in that cold and the Christmas music, and then first around Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving music, and everybody's getting together. And They've probably forgotten by now. But my DNAers of the female persuasion, they said that's the best sweet potato pie I ever made. Of course, I was all over. When I tell you that sweet potato pie was made with love, I can say it was made with in love. And as for Ron, he had a job. I called it and got him it. Not a problem. So we date through the Thanksgiving holidays, which is very nice. And then we're at my DNAers of the female persuasion house, and it's late. And I said, you know, you can stay over at my place. Next thing I looked, there was a toothbrush on my dresser because she shared the bathroom. I was like, where did this come from? But I didn't pay no attention because the holidays was coming up. And finally, when I went to all these drinkaholics things with my DNAers of the female persuasions, I would have a man on my shoulder. Not only a man, but a slick one at that. So, we make it through the holidays, and then there's a shirt or two that pops up in the house and I'm folding up while I see the laundry. And I'm like, okay. But then, he lost his job. But it ain't such a big thing because I got a good job at the telephone company. So it's not like anything's going to happen, we're going to starve or anything because he ain't working. And he'll get another one. Now, it's like people lose jobs all the time. No problem. Just get another one. Just get another one. Just get another one. Why can't you get unemployment? Oh, you only been working there 3 months? I thought you told me you've been working for a year. Y'all see? And and he wouldn't keep what he wouldn't get. If he got, he wouldn't keep. And if he just wouldn't keep a job. Asking me for money all the time. And before, when I could talk to his grandmother and his sister, all of a sudden, no, I can't talk to them. When I call, they don't even answer. And if they answer, I say hello, they hang up. So I'm like, what is going on? He's still showing up. And I had the split shift at the Willoughby plantation at the telephone company. And whew. So I work all different times. And it was getting cold. And Ron said, you know, it wasn't fair for him to be left out the house and he couldn't get in because he didn't have a key, and I was working all these crazy shifts. So I said, why not? I didn't say, you ain't got no job. No, you ain't got no job. Whew. I didn't say that. I should have. So, I'm going to give it a little bit more time, and then we're going to do the weights. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend, we're going to go into the weights. subscribe, 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 subscribe. Whew, let's get this done. When you don't stretch in the morning, everything is like a chore. Every movement, instead of being fluid, you know, where you just get into it, you just get into the groove. But when you don't stretch out and stuff, first of all, I don't even know how you old people don't do some kind of exercising, taking all that medication, thinking it's supposed to get to the places that you say you wanted to get to, but you ain't doing nothing to move it. Ciao. I'll get back to y'all later. Anyway, my hobosexual relationship gets bad, y'all. Let's do 5. Squeeze your gut. Tuck in your elbow. Neither up nor down. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1's good luck. Yeah, honey. Alright, I'll get back to the whole sexual relationship. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, suck in your gut. Tuck in your elbows. Neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that's how I remember when I do this sometimes, lifting those pots and pans, you know, those large pots of rice and stuff that I don't have to do no more. But my muscle ain't do nothing to me, so it's all right if I exercise it. Okay, it gets bad, y'all. So now that Ron has the key, and it started out while he would call me, where you at? I'm out in the street, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm at work, I got the key, you got the key, you got off, I had the key, I could get in myself. And when I was like 27, I'm 65 now. Remember, I'm talking from this point looking back. So I said, okay, you can have the key. Now, he had a job. And that's why I'm working, you working. We didn't see each other. If I had the key, then I could be there when you get home. That's how it started. So I said, okay, not a problem. Then all of a sudden, I worked at the telephone company. They call it split shifts. You have to work like 8 to 12. Then you come back, you work 4 to 7. That's a lucky one. Or you work 9 to 1. Come back, you work 4 to 8 or 7, something like that. But you have between a 3-hour and a 4-hour lapse in between your work day. So I would be coming home from my split shift, and sorry y'all, I spilled some water. And he would be passed down to bed. Now don't get me wrong, at first it was fun. First it was fun, okay? Running in between that split, getting a hit. Go back to work, singing. But then on the bus I would say, that ain't got no job. That ain't got no job. I was like, oh, he'll get one. You know, I got the glow of love. Ooh. Oh, I floated down the bus, honey, with the glow of love. But then he wouldn't be there when I had come from my split shift. I would just find dirty pots, pans, plates, forks. He was coming in to eat. And this went on for a while. I would leave a little note. You know, Ron, what's going on? You're here when I'm not here. I come and I find a note stuck to one of the pans that he took out the oven and stuff. Then he just took everything from the sink. Now, maybe I wouldn't have been so upset. Excuse me. Had he done the dishes. It could have been the dishes that did him in. So, I'm like, I have to keep meat in the freezer and the refrigerator. I have a daughter. So I have to keep meat and snacks, and I have to keep stuff in the cabinets. I have to keep cereal. I have to keep food for us. I have a daughter. And he would come in and have himself a good old eating time. So now, let's start tracking him down. See, the wrong way? Y'all do it the right way today. See, you generation promise. I told my daughter that. I said, no, that's the white people stuff. They don't know what you're going to be because they live in a world of lies. So it's always a variable. No, you're not generation variable. Your generation promise. And from what I'm seeing, you're holding it up. You're holding it up. Love you. Love you much. So, see how I got off track again? So now, I'm like, okay, get the little shit you got here, get out, give me my keys, and go on with your life. Now, a lot of people say, well, why didn't you just change the keys? Well, we had like 8 people living in that rooming house. We all kind of knew each other. We met because I was there the longest, so I kind of met everybody there. I had the biggest place on the ground floor, so I kind of knew everybody there. But when there's a key issue, everybody knows. And we used to have those big, it was a brownstone, them big industrial keys. When you said you wanted to have the keys changed, Martha used to say you got to pay for keys for 8 people, and that's just, listen, if we had money like that, we wouldn't be where we are. So I was like, come on, Ron, come on. And I'm leaving messages. That's how I found out he ain't had no job. I'm going through the phone numbers that he's giving me from different jobs. Oh, they find me. They didn't like me. They didn't. Child. The fact that I could call and they say he don't work there no more meant he did at one point work there. But, so now I'm mad. I'm pissed. You come in like a rat, eating my food, scurrying out before I can get home. You see how I say rat? I went from Ron to rat. That's when you dehumanize people. I learned a lot. I said, I'm going to get this rat. So I come home and I noticed the rat hadn't been there. There was nothing in the sink. I cleaned everything out, so I knew he hadn't been there. So I get this idea. I run back out to the store, and this is when you can buy lye from the corner store. And I got a can, like a tin of lye, and I came home, and I dissolved it. Don't judge me. And then I took the hamburgers that he loved to eat, because it was quick for me and Dave. Just the second burger on, some ketchup for her. It's just protein. Put some ketchup on it. She don't care. She eat it down. And Ron was eating the burgers, so I said, okay. So I soaked them in the lye, turned them over, soaked them in the lye. And I took them out. I remember just sitting there very, you know how they have that white paper on top? I guess, I'm sure there's a name for the paper. So I put it back into wrapping, and I put it back in the freezer. Then we had hot dogs, and he loved to come eat those hot dogs. So I just poke holes like in the top of the hot dog, and I'm sitting there. And then I took them and I soaked them in the lye. And the whole time I'm thinking, I was like, rat, when you bring your ass in here this time, I bet you wish you gave me back my keys. So I go to sleep, everything's soaked and stuff. No, I soak everything, then I go to sleep for a little bit, and then I come back and package everything like that. So I take my nap, I get up, I'm refreshed, I'm happy, the rat's gonna be gone, the rat's gonna be gone. And I'm bopping, I'm on the Fulton bus, take me straight downtown Brooklyn, hey, 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 hey. Ha, ha, ha. Ciao. I get to work, and I call my middle DNA of the female persuasion. And I said, ooh, ooh, ooh. Huh, gonna hook Ron up when he come in there today and get that food. I ain't gonna have to worry about that. Let me say it right. I don't have to worry about that no more, honey. That is gone. So I remember my sister just as clearly. Okay, my DNA of the female persuasion. But at this point, she was like a sister, because she said, fool, you going to jail. Jail? Where did that come into the equation? I'm just getting rid of a rat. And she said it twice. She said, girl, you going to jail. I said, whew. I wouldn't there. I said, I need emergency A&E. I need emergency A&E. Get my shit. I was gone, honey. I didn't even take the bus back. The train was like, it would take me 15 minutes on the train and at least 30, if not more, on the bus. So I had to jump on the train. I got out that train, ran up and said, I'm running down, I mean, pocketbook flying, I am running, I gotta get that food out that freezer before Ron gets there, he eats it, and I'm running, I'm like, I don't want to go to jail, I don't want to go to jail. And I lived on Hancock, between Troop and Tompkins. So I was at Troop, and I turned that left, and I'm flying, and I look up, and I see Ron at the top of the stairs to the brownstone I was living in. I start screaming, run, run, no. He thought I was saying, no, don't come in. I was like, no, don't run, no, no. And I'm running at him, and he's just standing there. And he starts to come downstairs, and I'm like, no, 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 I gotta tell you something, I gotta tell you something. And he stopped at the landing, and I said, you gotta give me my keys back. I said, because I got a freezer full of poison downstairs for you. I can't do this. I'm not stable enough. I can't do this. He handed me back my keys. And I gotta tell you, in all fairness, that's the last man I ever had handed any keys to where I was living. Now, if we lived together, we both had keys because we both the responsibility, but no. I remember going inside, throwing all the poison pan, the poison utensil, the poison food, and just crying, crying, crying. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't. I can't. No. Mm-mm. So, in my fashion, that's why I've never had a real domestic violence situation going on. A little walk by with a little nudge, maybe a door slam back, but nothing big, because I tell all my mates, some remember, don't, but I tell them the Ron story, and I tell them that for the first time, I realized as a woman, I'm a dangerous person. I can't be pushed. We can't do this. I strike back like y'all strike back, but better. I didn't know I was capable of doing something like that. I didn't know another human being could really push you. Or you would put yourself, as the ancestors said, you put yourself in that situation. I was like, yeah, I did, but I got out. So, that was my hobosexual relationship. I never heard from Ron again. He never lived anywhere, probably from woman to woman to woman to woman. Everything he told was lies. We didn't share no bank account, nothing like that, honey. That went as far as the key. But that was my one and only. And then said, oh, baby, why can't I move with you? And I was like, no, you can't, because you playing, and I don't play. That's why that song, okay, I'll copyright, okay. That's why that song hit me. I just messed up my sign with the word copyright. That's why that song, copyright. Bitch, I'm back and my ass got bigger. A pretty face and a real nice trigger. Yeah, no. I learned from that homosexual relationship, so I had to warn men up front. And like I've been in long-term relationships, I didn't have that kerfuffle, like being punched across the room and different things like that, you know. But I can't do what y'all do. That was my one and only time. And I was scared. So when I got into relationship from this hobosexual relationship, when I get in relationship with men, I'm like, and I tell them, y'all need to be a little bit scared of me. And it's like, not you. And then when I tell them about the Ron story, they're like, oh, you serious? I'm like, I am serious. Sister could probably just be getting out of her brick and mortar. And I said, oh, You like, they said it with my daughter. Oh, you like that. Oh, you like that. So that's what I get from men a lot when I was younger. Oh, you like that. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm kind of like the bitch that won't. So let's play fair with one another. Let's tell the truth with one another, and let's grow with one another. And I've had great relationships where we've all grown, everybody. But at first, I had to let them know. So if you're in the hobo, that's man ain't got no job. Ron got that job when he met me. He got it long enough to secure his toothbrush in my house. And by the time the shirts came in, he ain't had no job. Then I had to give him transportation money, had to help with his clothes and stuff like that, because now he had to go out and get a job. And then he needed money for transportation, and he needed money for this, and he needed money for that. One thing I was smart enough to do, no mail to my address. Nothing ever came through with Ron's name on it. No. He wasn't claiming residency. I just gave him the key. Because, as he said, we were both working. But don't put yourself in that relationship to fight, is what I'm saying, ladies. And then what I tell my daughter when I tell that story. Don't put yourself in that relationship to have that confrontation. Now, I would look Ron up on some kind of app, child. I'd have ran his name through the police department. Shit, I'd have DNA the inside of his goddamn jaw. Excuse me. When the water goes down, the air comes out. Sometimes in the belt, sometimes not. But yeah, I'd have ran. He'd have probably had a Facebook page, and them women on that page would have said, "Don't date him. He's a hobo." If you're in a relationship with him, it's a hobo relationship. He ain't got no address until he move in with you and get one. Nowadays, but we didn't have that back then. And just like that, when I went back to the bar where I met Ron and where we used to meet, it was no Ron. I never saw Ron in that place ever again. Ever again. I'm looking at the time because, like I tell you, when I do a reel, I don't know exactly. I try to say in my head with the time what I'm talking about at that time, and when it's really hard. I don't see any video when I do to make the reel. I just like, they give me a minute and 29 seconds, and I just try to find a spot that hits on the topic or subject that I wrote in the description. Yeah, I was 27. I'm 65 now. Don't judge me. And I was just looking for love, but I always had it. You know why I always had it? Because I always had this matter that loves me, and I love it. And I love it. And when you look outside, now you can take the love and go outside. But if you look for the love from outside to come in and fill you, it's going to be a problem. But when you love yourself, you can take your love and go out and love people. So it didn't stop me from loving people. Because what it did was it helped me get the love inside of me. To say, girl, I know it was the ancestors. I know it was the ancestors. I just know, I did, because the vibe was like, girl, you better get it together. You's in New York. You in New York City. You by yourself in New York City. You better get it together. A bum is a bum. And like I said, maybe if Ron had washed the dishes. I kept saying to myself, as I look in the sink, I see the dish detergent, I see the sponge. I'm saying, you didn't even have the decency to even wash the glass that you drunk out of. I think that's what really he started my rage going. I don't think I would have been so upset. Eventually, I would have caught up with him. I would just go to the refrigerator and notice some food was going. But hey, I don't see any dishes in the sink. I don't see where he ate it. Maybe he took some food out, and eventually I would have a problem with that. But coming in and seeing from work and seeing a sink full of dishes, people have been killed for less. And Ron was almost one of them. But he would be done just for that. Yeah. So, I learned a lot about myself from that. I didn't have that fear. I don't. I'll tell you some other story. I didn't have that fear of men. And the cult, they got me when I was a teenager. They groomed me. But as an adult, I couldn't do the grooming. I fell for the okie doke, but not the grooming. So. Tomorrow's going to be our last scoping chat. We're going to go back to half-hour walk. Because the scoping chat is usually our summer thing. And I'm not so thirsty anymore, so I don't need the water like that anymore. If you go back to 2 years ago, because we got videos, you see we usually end about this time with the scoping chat. So tomorrow is going to be the last scoping chat. I just got to go back to drinking my water out of the glass. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. And if you can stretch before you come on the walk. Ooh. I'm just trying to get both cameras. Y'all do it. Because it helps. Thanks for coming on the walk. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.